Hello friends, I welcome you all to GIPL Technical Series. I am Mohsin Ali Ambaliyasana and I am working with GIPL as a software engineer. Today we are going to provide information further in SQL Basic covering topic trigger. So stay connected with us till the end to know full detail. Before we start our topic, I would like to give some information about GIPL. GIPL is a government organization. We provide IT and IT-enabled services to different government organizations. We provide informative videos about government software and latest technological tutorials. To get latest videos, please press the bell icon and subscribe to our channel. Now let's start our topic. In this session, we will learn about the different type of triggers that are available in SQL Server. In SQL Server, there are three type of triggers: DML, DDL, and logon trigger. DML stand for Data Manipulation Language. Insert, update, delete statement are example of DMLs. DML statement because they modified the data that's present inside a table or a view. Now DML triggers fire automatically in response to DML event. Now DML trigger can again be classified into two types: after triggers and instead of triggers. After triggers, sometimes they are also called for triggers. Now let's understand the difference between after triggers and instead of triggers. After trigger, as the name say, they fire after the triggering action. The triggering action could be insert, update, delete. Whereas instead of triggers, as the name says, they fire instead of triggering action. For example, when you try to insert a row into a table, instead of inserting that row into that table, if there is an instead of trigger that can fire. In fact, triggers can be considered as a special kind of store procedure that execute automatically in response to a triggering action. So let's understand this trigger with examples. So I have this table called TBL candidate, which has got ID, name, codes and gender ID columns. So let's say whenever somebody insert a row into this table, that could be directly using a SQL statement or through an application. I want some audit information to be captured automatically in this TBL candidate audit table. That you can see this audit table has got ID and audit data columns. For example, if I insert a new candidate in TBL candidate table, now in audit table, I want a data which candidate is added and so time. So I want the ID of the person you have just added and at what date and time you have added that candidate. So how can I do that? Obviously, we can make use of a store procedure to do that, but the easiest way to achieve this is to basically associate a trigger with this TBL candidate table. As soon as insert statement is fired, I want this after insert trigger to be fired, which will capture the ID of the record which you have inserted into this table, and then date and time and log that, or insert another row into this TBL candidate audit table. Let's look in this action that would be much easier. So here we have a trigger. Now look at this. Whenever you have creating a trigger, you create a trigger for a table and for a specific event. For this example, we want to create a trigger on this table TBL candidate for insert event, because as soon as a new row is inserted into TBL candidate, we want to log the audit information. So that why we create the trigger on TBL candidate for insert event. So I am creating a trigger. Create trigger, trigger name. The naming convention is to use tr underscore candidate name on TBL candidate for insert as begin end. This is just like a store procedure. So inside your trigger, you can implement whatever your logic you want. So what we want here, we want to capture the ID of the candidate that we have just inserted into the TBL candidate table. So let's declare a variable of type integer. And then we are saying select into that variable the ID from the inserted table. So obviously if you have inserted a candidate with latest record in TBL candidate table, a copy of that row will be presented in inserted table, so we get the ID from there. And the finally what you are doing is, since we want to capture the audit information, we are saying insert into TBL candidate audit values. And if you look at the table candidate audit itself, it had just got two columns. One is the ID column, which is identity, so we don't have to supply a value for that. That will be automatically computed by SQL Server when you insert a new row into this table, and then the audit data itself. So in audit data, we want a message something like this: new candidate with ID is added at so and so time. So this is the static text, new candidate with ID, and to that, using a plus sign, we are concatenating the ID that we have retrieved from the inserted table. And since ID is an integer variable, we want to cast that to varchar if we have to concatenate that to this static text. And then we are saying new candidate with ID added at. So to this static text, again we have to concatenate the current date and time. That's it. So let's create this. Command completed successfully. So now let's try to insert a new record into this TBL candidate table. So obviously this trigger is for insert on TBL candidate table. So immediately after a row is inserted into TBL candidate table, this trigger get fired, and we are saying in this trigger insert a audit row in TBL candidate audit table. So let's execute that. Look at this, one row affected, one row affected. Now execute TBL candidate table and TBL candidate audit table. Now let's select everything from this table, and you should see this audit information. New candidate with ID 1009 is added at so and so time. So now we move on to DDL triggers. So what are DDL triggers? DDL triggers fire in response to DDL events. So the immediate obvious question that comes to our mind is, what are DDL event and when are these event raised? Whenever you create, alter or drop database object, the responding DDL event is raised. For example, when you create a table using create table DDL statement, the associated event create table is raised, and if you have a trigger associated to that event, then when you create a table, automatically that associated trigger will get fired. So now we move on to logon triggers. So when does a logon trigger fire? Logon triggers fire in response to a logon event. Logon trigger fire after the authentication phase of logging in finishes, but before the user session is actually established. Logon trigger can be used for tracking logging activity, restricting login to SQL Server, and limiting the number of sessions for a specific login. In the similar manner, you can have an after delete trigger. They are very much identical except that here you specify for delete and here you say for insert, and in the after insert trigger you make use of inserted table, and in the after delete trigger you make use of deleted table. If it is an update, you make use of both inserted and updated tables. That's it for today. Hope all this information was helpful to you. Thank you for watching. For any IT and IT enabled services, you can contact GIPL with details show on the screen. If you like our video, please click like button and share with your friends and family. We will meet you in our next video. Till then, stay safe, stay home and take care of yourself.